Hello friends, welcome back to the Kamikaze channel, and today I'm having a new dueling replay for you. It's again against the Burning Abyss, p.u.n.k and Goblin biker deck, and the I'm playing a different deck. I'm playing the branded deck with the Dracotail cards in it. Yeah, this is a really long game one. I think we played like 50 minutes for the game one. And yeah, the other games are not so interesting. So we're just taking a big look at game one right here. All right, I think I started. No, he won the die roll. He starts, and he also has a good hand to start because tour guide is always nice to have in a rank 3 deck, right? And also has double DD Crow and Book of Lunar Eclipse. So he has a 1 card combo and three non-engine. I think Book of Lunar Eclipse is an interesting choice in this format. Um, because it's 0 point and it's a quick effect card. So it's maybe to be considered in some decks that like cards in the graveyard. And BA, yeah, is one of those decks that can do a lot with cards in the graveyard. Also, PKs want to be in the graveyard, so I think this is a really cool choice. Also, to be able to book 2 monsters. And you can also book your own monsters to dodge effects. So I think this is a really cool thing. The only thing is that you have no, you don't have to target. You can target up to 2 monsters on the field. Uh, no, the target 2 face-up monsters. So you have to target 2, right? Okay. You have to target 2 monsters, otherwise you cannot activate this card. So if I use Effect Whaler on the tour guide now, he cannot protect it. So that's a bit of a downside. But yeah, I think it's still a good card. All right, let's see how he plays. My hand, by the way, is really good for going first. Also fine for going second, but not really great. Yeah, he special summons the Rhino Warrior. It's a long time no see. And then overlays those two not into Dante, into Gabonga, because Gabonga is the better card right here. Then activates the effect, adds the Duck Charger, which can special summon itself now by this detaching. And then he gets the effect of Rhino Warrior. If you don't know what this does, you can send one field monster from deck to the graveyard. Pretty simple. If it hits the graveyard, and this one searches a Goblin biker spell, I think. Yes, searches the Goblin breakout. And then he sends Libic. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 3 Dark Fiend monster from your hand, which he is doing right here. Specials the, I think this is Gruff, yes. And I think the graph, if you control a monster that is not a Burning Abyss monster, destroy this card. You can only use this effect of graph once that turn. He actually does control one. But its effects are negated. So okay, that's fine. So this one doesn't pop itself because its effects are negated through the Libic. Alright, then it's legal what he's doing here. Then he uses Dante. Dante mills free, and holy shit, this is a mill free. He gets 2 silent boosts and 1 rollback, which is a crazy mill. Then he uses the effect of Grand Breakout, the tribute to Dante, which is pretty good for him, so he can come back. No, he can use its effect to get a BA monster back and special summons from the deck the Coletta Splotter to be able to attach in the next turn to his Gabonga. Then he uses the Graph and also the Dante and the Cladder to reborn, gets the Graph back to hand, reborn the Duck Charger, and I think gets the Seer. Then Seer destroys itself because, yeah, he has other monsters and this effect is not negated, and then he reborns the Dante. Which can use its effect again if he leaves the field, and then goes for another Dante, then mills another 3, which is not the best mill in the world, but actually he has a transaction rollback for evenly, so his rollback is now live. And then he also mills Seer. Then he uses the Silent Boots to banish it and get a fog plate, which is also kind of scary to have. Then overlay those two for number F0 and then go for the Utopic Draco Future. Then yeah, he sets Book of Lunar Eclipse, Phantom Knight's Fogblade, and his Tuned Crow in the hand. So his board is kind of strong. He has negate an effect, negate a monster effect again, then a book 2 monster, which is not really good against Branded, but against other decks this could be deadly. And he can also discard a graph for it. Then he can special summon Burninng Abyss monster from the deck, so this also triggers this effect. Then he also has the Gabonga, which can attach a monster if he uses the effect of Clit Exploder, and if this one, where is it? Oh yeah, he gets it in the end phase, I think. Yeah, he gets it in the end phase. If this one gets detached, the Gone Wild, he will be able to attach another one. So he has a lot of interruptions here. But I have a full engine hand, which is kind of good to play against a board that has no floodgate, and he doesn't have a floodgate. This one can only not be destroyed by battle or card effects. And yeah, I go main phase, I immediately go Allure of Darkness, and then I draw 2 cards. And I think I do a mistake here. I should have banished the Mercuria, but my thinking here was, because I banish right here, I banished the Albion after some thinking. Yeah, my thinking here was I want to have the Mercuria in hand in case my Branded Fusion resolves, right? But this was like the dumbest thinking ever. Because I have Albion here, I can just send the Branded Sword and then just add back the Mercuria, which would have gave me another search with the Mercuria. So I don't know what I did here. This was not the worst misplay ever, but right, I think it's better to be able to just use the effect and then add it back with the trap you can send for free with Albion. But I did not do that, and yeah, I immediately regretted it after that. But yeah, it's a misplay that happens. Then I activate Fusion Deployment and Special Summon Cartesia. I was thinking about Special Summoning Albus here, but I saw no point in going for Albus because having it on field and not using the effect doesn't help here. And he has the Fogblade, he has the Utopic Draco Future, so this would have never resolved. So I just went for having Cartesia on the field, then using Albion, now I'm sending the Branded Sword, and then draw a card, draw into Radiant, which is insane right here, because this one immediately outs the Utopic Future Draco. I could have also went for the Biker Big Gabonga, but I think this effect doesn't threat me as much as the Utopic Draco Future, because the negating effect and then taking control is like super strong. It would have been less strong if it destroys, because then I have it in the graveyard and can add it back or use it or something like that, but taking control is like super strong. So I had to out this with the Kaiju. I think this was the right decision. Then he can use his double Dante because they went to the graveyard, at Seer, at Libic back, and then I normal summon the Aluber and get the Branded Fusion. And right here, having the Branded Fusion is super strong because with this board, he cannot stop it. Then I use the Branded Fusion, send Albus, and right here I think I'm doing another mistake. Yeah, I'm sending actually Pan here to go for Titanic Blood the Ash Dragon, but I think this was not the correct play to do. The correct my reasoning here is I immediately want to out the big Gabonga with the P.u.n.k, and I don't want Titanic Blood. I want it to be not unaffected, right? This card is unaffected from the effect of monster effects summoned from the extra deck in the turn it was summoned. But I think it would have been way more reasonable to just play it differently. Just send the Frixiol, and then Frixiol send the set the fusion spell, the Rahu, and then after that go for the Pan. Because now right here I'm not summoning Albion and I'm not having a fusion. Right, I could have had a fusion just for free, just go into something, but yeah, I think it's a mistake to not do that, and I just have one monster less like that. But yeah, mistakes are made, right? Then I use Pan Effect, Pop, it's still alright right here. Then I use Rahu right here. Now I sent the Frixiol. I could have just done this the other way around, and I would have still had the same, but the effect of Albion to maybe banish Albus and I don't know, Dialuber or whatever, or Frixiel and Dialuber. Then I had the Text Dragon, right? So this would have been just one more monster, and then I use Frixiel right here. He actually uses the Book of Lunar Eclipse because he doesn't want me to chain the Gulanel, which is reasonable. I think this is the best point where he can actually use the Book of Lunar Eclipse. And then he books my monsters. I actually chain the Cartesia to fuse the Aluber, and I don't think there's a real reason right here why I should have chained the Cartesia. I don't know why I do this here. I think this is not the correct play to chain it here, because I can still use the fusion summoning effect even if the Titanic Cloud is like booked. So I think this is probably not the correct play. Oh yeah, I also sent the wrong target, and I'm fusing the Cartesia away. And then this one gets booked, and then I use the Grangoniol. Oh, I forgot to resolve my Frixiol, so we were talking about that. Then I set the flame, and yeah. Then now right here we fixed it. We're going to play the rest. Then he uses the Seer because he discarded it for the Book of Lunar Eclipse, and then Chenic 1 was my Grangoniol. I sent with Grangoniol the Albion, and now I have to send the Albion with Grangoniol. I could have done this before when I just summoned them with Brain Fusion, so I think this was not the right decision. Just first go for Albion, send Frixiel, and then after that with Rahu I could have went into Titanic Cloud by sending p.u.n.k, and then I would have just had a free monster that yeah, with the effect of Albion. But now it's too late, right? I know it better for the next time. Also right here, my plays are gone, right? I don't have the Mercurial Life, sadly, and I also don't have another play. I only have the Flame set, I have Grangoniol, and in the end phase my stuff comes back. Right here, then I'm just going into the battle phase. Oh no, I'm actually going into end phase. I'm not going. I cannot beat over Dante. I cannot beat over Radiant, so there's no point in going to the battle phase. Then I use the effect of Cartesia to add back. Then special summon the Quem with the Titanic Lad. With Quem, I'm sending actually the Retribution. I think this is the right target because I have everything else already in the graveyard, so there's no point in sending another Albus. And yeah, I think Retribution is the 100% correct send here. And then I use the Albion, and then use Brandon Red, and he has another DD Crow, which yeah, this hurts a lot. No, he used the first DD Crow, and this hurts a lot. Yeah, I cannot fuse here, so yeah. Maybe I should have sent it another Albus, but I think still Retribution is the correct play to just have to follow up in the next turn, because I don't think he can easily kill me through the setup. And yeah, it's his turn, and then he straight goes into the battle phase. I cannot tell you why he's attacking into the Quem with Dante, and I know that this is like clearly why he does it, because he wants to go into Zeus, but I cannot explain you why he's not attacking with Radiant into Quem, because clearly when he tries to go into Zeus, something like that, or into the extra deck, I can use the Quem. And I don't know why he's attacking over the Aluba. Maybe he doesn't know the effect of Quem, but I think this is a clear misplay to not just run over Quem here. I think it's always correct to run over Quem. Then, yeah, as I said, he goes into the Downward Magician, and now he just triggers my Quem. I can use the Quem to reborn the Cartesia. Maybe he thinks because there's no Albus in the graveyard, it's not, she's not dangerous or something like that. But yeah, I don't think this is the correct play, because now I can do the following thing. I use the Cartesia effect, and then I chain the Branded Sword in my graveyard to add back the Albus that is banished. And then I fuse Grangoniol, I think. Yeah, Grangoniol and the Albus from my hand for Mirror Jade. And now there's a Mirror Jade that can just banish the Downerd. And actually he uses the Fog Blade on it, which I think is the correct play. I can not stop that, but I can send for cost the Rent Bomb, which makes my Albus, that is in graveyard right now, live again. I also have the Guanyonyol, so there's still a lot of follow-up here. And I could also use the pan to reborn the Phyrexial or something like that, right? And then this can reborn me the Golem. So there are a lot of stuff that I can still do. Yeah, he negates it. I cannot do anything against that, and then he goes for Zeus. Right here, using Zeus is not even that great, because if he uses Zeus and outs my Mirror Jade, I will use its effect to pop all of the monsters in the end phase from him. So this is not even the correct play to use Zeus here, I think. So he does not do it. He rather searches for another Fog Blade with the other Silent Boots, and then he normal Scam, I think, and Scam gets popped to search him in the end phase, and then he sets the other Fog Blade. Yeah, he's kind of locked out here because he has the Kaiju in the board and also the Zeus, so he cannot really special summon or get follow-up through his BAs because they always destroy themselves. Then he searches in the end phase for another Tour Guide, which is the correct play here to have follow-up. And then in the end phase, I'm using the Rindbram because I want to get rid of the Zeus. But he has the other DD Crow, and then the same Albus gets banished twice in this game. Poor Albus. And yeah, the Rindbram also still gets banished. And yeah, I think there's nothing to trigger right here. Yeah, there's nothing I want to trigger here. So I can always use the Brand Retribution, so I don't have to do it right here. Then it's my turn. I get another fusion deployment, which it doesn't help to have the third one. I flip the Gulam right here, so if he maybe has like another spell, I can trigger it with the flame. But I think I should know that this is a Fog Blade, so I see no immediate reason why I flip it here. Then I use the effect of Cartesia, and he does not negate it, and then I fuse away the Mirror Jade, and I think also the Gulamel to go for Dracotail. So this has multiple reasons why I do this here. The first one is my Mirror Jade right here is he cannot attack, he cannot use its effect. Right, I think I can use it, but it's negated. So I could send from the extra deck technically, but I want my Mirror Jade to be able to banish something to out the Zeus. So yeah, this is why I want to fusing it away. The other reason is I want the Quem to be able to reborn him now, and I go for Dracotail because this one can immediately answer the Zeus, right? Yeah, he could Fogblade that, but at least I have now an answer to Zeus. And if he lets the Quem resolve, I also have the Mercurial Life in the hand. So I have the Mirror Jade for sure coming back, because even if he chains the Zeus to my Quem, which he would never do because it doesn't make any sense, I check his whole board here, right? Because I have the answer to Zeus in Dracotail, and if he negates it with Fogblade, I have theoretically I have the Mercuria. I have to use it differently. I have to use the Mercuria on Zeus, because if he Fogblades, I cannot chain the Mercuria, obviously. But yeah, this answers his whole board right here. So yeah, I'm just using it, and then special summoning back. He actually don't want me to get back the Mirror Jade, which is a good decision, I think. He used the Fogblade, but then he could have just used it on Cartesia, I think. But yeah, I think it's good for him that I do not have that he doesn't have to trigger the Mirror Jade effect himself, so that I remove it myself. So I think he was glad that I was doing that. And yeah, then right here, I use the fusion deployment. I still have one Albion engraved, and then I can remove the Divine Arsenal Zeus that way, because then I can just use Albus effect. He uses the Gabonga to detach and reborn, because he can detach Dante, which triggers, but I immediately remove the Klettersploiter from the board because I play the sprint. So the chain was Norm Summon Albus use the effect to threaten his Zeus, right? He chains the Klettersploiter because this is the last time he could do it, because then he doesn't have an XYZ monster on the board to special summon, so this was chaining too. So it's on the field now, and I can now fuse it away because it's a monster that was special summoned this turn. So I can go for Sprint, Yai, and Dash Dragon. And Sprint has yeah, I could have also gone for Zeus, but I don't want him to get any follow-up, and I think Sprint does enough here, because with Sprint, right here, I can out the Fogblade, which I'm now doing. I'm using its effect. Oh no, he can still go for his effects, right? He has some trigger effects because he sent it Dante. And then, yeah, I can swap the zone to just pop the Fogblade that tries to that negates my Quem, so it's usable in the next turn again. Then he uses Zeus to attach something because something was destroyed, but now I can just use the Dracotail to negate it, and then yeah, it cannot use its effect anymore. Then I use a Retribution to get back the Branded Fusion, and from here on I'm having a lot, because I have to use the Cartesia from hand right here because there's no light target in my deck left. I only have 4. I have Cartesia, Phyrexial, another Cartesia, and Quem, so I have to use it from my hand, but it doesn't matter, I can get it back anyway. Then go for Albion, then use Albion effect. I'm thinking right here, I think I did not play the how is she called? Yeah, I did not play the Filia Regis right here. It would have been really good to have the Filia Regis here. This, I think, the game where I put the Filia Regis after that into my deck, because I do not play it here. And then I just banish Aluber and the Albion itself for the Despian Creditis, which is not the best thing to do here, but now I can actually out the Radiant, which is kind of important. And then I just go battle phase. He loses 2700, then go for end phase, then I have all the trigger effects. Oh, he wants to use in the battle phase still evenly, so I kind of played into that. To be honest, at this point, I totally forgot that he has this in the graveyard, that he can use it. I should have played a bit more careful here. I can still keep 2 cards, and I decide to keep the best cards. One of them could have been Dracotail, but I think it's way more important that I have Quem on the field, and that I can just go into that I can just reborn the Mirror Jade, right? Because in the end phase I will get back the Quem, and then I can fuse with Quem into the second Grangoniol I was playing at that time. So yeah, this is way more important that I get the Mirror Jade to be able to grind, to have a good interruption. And yeah, then it's his turn. And now has Tour Guide as follow-up, which is kind of crazy to be thinking. And he now asks, why is my Fogblade still on the field? And I tell him it was on Mirror Jade, it should have been in the graveyard. So yeah, we just fixed this. And then yeah, he goes in the main phase and then uses the effect of then he goes into the attack mode with Zeus, which gives me the ability to use Cartesia here. I'm not really sure why he did that. Maybe he wanted to go straight into the battle phase to just out the Quem, right? This could have been the point, which is reasonable, I think. But I can still use it here and then go for Grangoniol, and then the Quem effect, Grangoniol effect, reborn Mirror Jade, and then send the Damaturge. Right here, I'm sending the Damaturge because I don't have a better target right here. So I think it's better to draw it, to have it in the graveyard than draw it, right? Then he goes in the battle phase, tries to out the Mirror Jade. I use the Mirror Jade effect, which is fine, I think, for him, because he still has like the full thing left. But right here, he doesn't know that I have the Mercuria. Because I played it differently, it's still the same Mercuria I had in the hand since turn 1, which I did not manage with the Allure. So maybe this now pays out that he doesn't know it. Then he goes in the main phase 2, special summons Libic because there are no spells, and also they do not destroy him. Then he specials Gruff, and then he can overlay them. Goes for the third Dante, I think. Yeah, he does the third one. Uses Dante and mills. His mills aren't that great. He milled Fire Lake, but he already used the transaction rollback, so this doesn't help him. But he got another Fog Blade. Already has 2 Fog Blade in graveyard, so I don't think this was a good mill. And then normal summons Tour Guide, and right here I just used the Mercury on the Tour Guide, which actually should end this game. I think he surrenders after that. No, he doesn't surrender. He lets me go into my turn, but now he can see how much I'm getting back with Albion, with Cartesia. And then I'm special summon the Cartesia and use the effect of Cartesia to fuse those two into the... Oh yeah, he actually doesn't surrender. He wants me to go into the battle phase because this one still can reborn some stuff. He still has the Fog Blades, right? So, but I'm going into the Masquerade here because it's one of the last 3 cards into my extra deck, and the other thing, he only has 2,400 life points left, right? So if he wants to use those effects that keep him alive because he always gets back a body, he has to pay 600 for every of them. And he will lose 2,000 from attacking into Tour Guide, so he will only have like 400 left. So I think this was the correct play to do here, just end the game. I should have maybe attacked with Mirror Jade here, but I think it's still fine. And then attack with Mirror Jade. Oh yeah, I had to attack with Mirror Jade into Dante because it's 2,500 def. I'm just a bit confused right there. And then he used the effect to special summon. I think it was the effect of Gruff, special summon from deck, but now he only has 300 left and cannot attack anymore. Then I just use Branded in red and add the Damaturge and go for another one. And then special summon back Thaumaturge, and from here on it's game. And yeah, there's nothing more that he can actually do with the Text Dragon on the board and only 300 life points. And then we go into the side deck, and he actually lets me go first in game 2, which is a decision I'm not really understanding, right? There is a point, I think, where he's coming from is that his board is not strong enough to be able. It doesn't have spell negates, right? And Branded could easily break it. So I think he thought himself, okay, maybe I cannot make a super strong board, but I have a really strong engine in my deck, and I side in some board breakers, which he actually did, right? He has the Sphere mode because he doesn't need his normal summon. So I just let him side going second card, let him go first, and yeah, this actually worked because I sided out a lot of my Dracotail engine. So there's not a lot of good targets in my deck left for the Branded Fusion. So his plan actually worked, but I don't think his board can play that easily through a branded board. But let's just take a look. My hand is also like full of engine, which is super strong. And I just start here with the Allure. And then I just chain the opening, right? Because I don't want to have the risk of discarding my whole hand. And I discard the Cartesia here because I think it's better to have the fusion deployment. And I kind of want to have the Branded in red, so I just discard the Cartesia, get the Tragedy, then draw 2 cards, then banish the Tragedy effect, get the Aluber, and then use, I think, yeah, the Fusion deployment, special summon the Cartesia, and now I can safely normal summon the Aluber, get the Branded Fusion, and right here using the Branded Fusion. The problem right here is I don't have good targets left. I don't have a good light target, right? Because even if I send Frixial here, which is still in my deck, I don't have the trap in my deck. So I could just send here set here the Rahu, which did not do enough here, because if I don't have the trap, this is not an interruption, right? So I decided to just send the Damaturge here because I already have the Brand in red, so it does something, and just go for the Titanic Led. And then just fuse it away right into the Masquerade, which because this is a deck that's really spam heavy, right? It does use a lot of effects, so Masquerade could easily shut that down. And then I use the Albion effect, send the Branded Sword. I think sending Branded Sword right here is fine, because if I use Branded in red on Albus, I can get it back. Maybe sending the other branded card, the Retribution, would have been a better idea to just be able to safely get back the Brand Fusion. Yeah, when I'm thinking about it, I think this would have been the better play. But I draw another kaiju, so this was his plan, right? So that I brick on going second card. It actually worked, right? And then I use Cartesia in the end phase to get it back, and then use Titanic Lad to special summon Quem, which brings me exactly to 3 monsters, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah. Then I sent, right here, I sent the Retribution, so I have both now in the graveyard. I think that's fine. Then he top decks the Silent Boots, which is okay, I think, not ideal. He also doesn't have a tour guide, but he has some Goblin biker stuff to help him play through the board. But he doesn't have a normal summon, which is also fine to not draw a tour guide then. He immediately decides to go for the sphere mode, which I think is a good idea, considering that he has to use a lot of effects, and Masquerade then kind of threats him a lot. Also, me not using Cartesia does hurt a lot, and me not using being able to use Quem, right? So I think this is a good idea to go for the sphere mode here. Then he special summons the first BA, the Calcap, and right here I'm just deciding to use the Branded in red to add the Fallen of Albus, and then fuse Cartesia and the Fallen of Albus into Albion, and then use Albion effect and Branded Sword. Branded Sword can add me back the Albus. And then I fuse Albus and the Titanic Clad into Mirror Jade. Then he special summons the Seer, and I think he goes for Gabonga right here. And then searches with Gabonga, the Goblin Biker's gone wild, because he already has the Dark Charger in hand, which lets him continue playing here. Then he uses the Dark Charger, and right here I'm just thinking about, yeah, okay, if he cannot detach, he cannot special summon, which is a huge thing he has to do, and he already used the effect. He has the Gone Wild, which is another dead card in his hand. I don't know the other cards, but if those two are two BAs, right? All right, use those two BAs, go for a Dante, but then you can certainly not kill me. I have enough follow-up. Even if you go for a Zeus, you cannot kill me, because I have the Mirror Jade and that triggers. I have the Albion that triggers. So I thought about, okay, just go for it. I still also have the Masquerade, which I can get back. I have the Cartesia. I have so many resources, so I just go for, okay, I'm just gonna banish it and see what happens. And it was actually the choke point here. He cannot continue playing, so he just enragement draws here. He actually left in the tour guide, which is kind of interesting, but yeah, I think it's 60 cards, so he can just go for the non being able to normal summon out of a board, and yeah, he draws all three of them. All right. But yeah, this was the game. He decided to scoop there. Only 2 games, but as I said, it was a super long game. We played for 51 minutes, and I really like his deck that he's playing. I think it's such a fun deck to have, and seeing BA played in 2025 is always a cool thing. I wish they could play Beatrice, but yeah, there's no shot that Beatrice is like cheap. Beatrice really does need a rework, right? It needs a change that it can only send BA monsters or something like that. I don't know. Beatrice is such a cool card to play for BA, but they cannot do it because it's too generic, right? And it does too much harm to the game. So why not make a new Beatrice that is better for BA and worse for other decks. So yeah, let's end the video with that statement. And yeah, have a good day and see you in the next video.